White supremacists invented the one drop rule, and now white supremacists are acting like they don't understand the one drop rule. That's where we are. That's where we are, y'all, in the presidential race of 2024. Okay. Heard what you talking about. I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you. Before I do, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy first, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on some again. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, and put all your people on it. Okay. I'm sure most of the real ones out here, y'all are pretty locked in. Proud of y'all for that. Okay. And y'all have seen, if not all, then parts of Donald Trump's interview from the National Association of Black Journalists. Okay. It was a shit show. But what do you expect? See, I think some folks thought Trump was going to get up there in front of a crowd of black people and be different. The man does not give no fuck about that. I keep telling some of y'all, like, folks out here keep thinking that white people are scared of them. That they, when they get in front of you, they're going to be good or be different or something like that. What the fuck they got to be afraid of? They know we only make up 13% of this motherfucking country. So they know they severely outnumber us in this country. They know that they have overwhelmingly the vast amount of the wealth of this nation. They know that. They know they control the banks. They control the military. They control all this shit. They know that. And we be, oh, we got them switches. They got them motherfucking switches. What are we talking about? So I'm saying that to say, not saying like, oh, they're so much more courageous than this. I'm just saying they know that they are in a position of power in this nation. Trump knows that he's in a position of power in this nation. So he does not give a fuck if he's in front of a crowd of black people who are hostile to whatever the fuck he's saying. He know ain't nobody finna come down and do nothing to him. He got Proud Boys standing by. He got millions of motherfuckers who will send him money. Send this motherfucking billionaire their hard-earned money. Yeah, he knows that. So folks were fucking stupid to think that that bastard was going to get up there in front of them black journalists and be anybody else but Donald Trump. And he was himself. Disrespectful. Not answering the motherfuckers' questions. If he did answer the questions, he answering them bitches with lies and more disrespect. He was Trump. He was on brand. So what they did by platforming that motherfucker was give his base something to cheer for. See, they like this shit. They want to see one of their own go in front of black folks or go in front of the left, go in front of the libs. They want to see that. Go in the lines then and goddamn cut up on them. Say what the fuck we want to say to them. Say it. Only thing that he didn't say that they would have wanted is the N-word. But he got all the other shit in there. So platforming him only gave them something to cheer for. And said, look, he'll go in there and tell them to their face. Now you may say, well, why won't he debate her then? The motherfucker don't want to lose now. I think he does feel that this woman to whoop his ass in the debate. Okay. I don't doubt that he'll say some of this fucked up ass shit to her face, though. Okay. Now, she might come back with some shit on his ass and make him look silly. Okay. Because she, unlike President Biden, she's younger, very sharp. President Biden ain't never been really good at this debate shit. This man ran for president numerous times before goddamn being successful. And hell, even when he was successful in 2020, hell, it looked like he wasn't gonna be successful until the goddamn race got to South Carolina. And black voters saved his ass. But that motherfucker right there, as she continues to tell you, she used to be a prosecutor. So talking, she do that shit. So I think he is worried about that. So that's why he's trying to goddamn get in front of his own crowd, you know, let Fox do the debate and have folks up in there cheering for him. He wanted on his own terms. You feel me? But let's say he showed up to the ABC debate. Would he be disrespectful? I believe so. Didn't he disrespect Hillary? Didn't he disrespect Biden? He's just a disrespectful motherfucker. That's what he does. That's what he gonna do. You feel me? That's his brand. But see, when Kamala's ethnicity, her race came up, that when that boy really showed out, didn't he? That motherfucker accused her of turning black. Again, white supremacists came up with the one drop rule. The white supremacist in chief right now, trying to act like he don't understand it. If you missed it, if you missed that part, check him out.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask, continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
So y'all heard him, okay? First of all, bullshit. First of all, it's bullshit, okay? It's plenty of stuff out there online. Y'all have seen, y'all going back decades with this woman acknowledging both sides of her family. Her mother's of Indian descent. Her father's black. He's of Jamaican descent. And them black folks down there, okay? I don't give a fuck what these folks in ADOS talking about. I don't give a fuck what these folks in FBA talking about. Fuck that shit. As I said in my track segment about Sha'Carri and Noah Lyles, make sure y'all check that out if you fuck with track and field. You feel me? I believe in what Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X were talking about. They wanted to unite all black people around the world. Okay? Because goddamn it, these people who have subjugated us, they unite. They unite. They say, okay, we're going to make a deal. Shit, we're going to goddamn carve up Africa. You get this part, you get this part. Woo, 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 woo. Look at NATO today. White countries clicking up. So you telling me white people with different languages and customs and all this kind of shit, they can click up in their whiteness to make sure that non-whites remain less wealthy, that their militaries remain less powerful. They can click up for that. But black people around the world with different cultures and different customs and languages shouldn't? Fuck that. That does not make any motherfucking sense. That does not make any sense. It makes more sense for the powerful white nations to be on some shit like that. But they ain't even doing that. And they got the money and the guns. And when I'm talking about the guns, I'm talking about them nukes. They got that shit, and they still click up. And motherfuckers out here acting like our nations, and for that part, our people here in America, the 13% of America that we should not click up with these other people who share our ancestry. Fuck that. That's stupid. So fuck yeah, that girl identifies as a black woman. God damn it, she's a black woman. Fuck we talking about? Daddy black. She's a South Asian woman. Her mama come from India. Fuck we talking about? Or of Indian descent. Okay, I don't know if her mama actually comes from India. I still got to read her autobiography. I told y'all about that shit. Y'all should as well. I'll read it eventually. I'm reading Strong Man right now. I told y'all about that previously. But that's one thing. Okay, and so there's clearly shit out here on this internet with that woman identifying with the black community. Okay. The woman went to Howard, goddammit, and pledged AK. She in the same goddamn sorority, proudly in the same sorority that my fucking wife is. What we talking about? What are we talking about? You think that black woman who went to Howard and pledged AK thought back then she gonna run for president one day? I'm sure that this is a wildly ambitious woman. I'm sure she's very, very ambitious, okay? And maybe when I read her autobiography, that will be in there, okay? I haven't seen that in a documentary yet or anything like that, okay? But growing up back then, I don't know if she thought that, she would be president or have vice president, let alone have a chance to be president. So I'm saying, ain't like she was like, oh, I'm going to turn black, right? I'm going to go to Howard. That's going to help me years from now become president because I'm going to get the blacks because I went to Howard. Oh, I'm going to pledge AK, okay? I'm going to throw up this pinky. I'm going to rock this pink and green, okay? Because I'm going to have the divine 9 on my side when I run for president one day. What the fuck are we talking about, man? Come on, dog. Come on, dog. But see, you got many folks in that damn Republican Party who've been running from their identity. Starting with Trump. Okay. This is from the New York Times. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Okay. From the New York Times. It says, several centuries have passed since Drumpf evolved into Trump, according to Gwenda Blair, who wrote a biography of Mr. Trump and his family. The Drumpf name, D-R-U-M-P-F, appears in tax logs dating to about 1600. And the Trump name first appeared among his ancestors in Germany later that century. Okay. So originally, this motherfucker's family name was Drumpf, not no goddamn Trump. Okay. Now you got to go back a ways for that, but that's what it was. Okay. That's what it was. Drumpf. Then you got Nikki Haley. We've talked about her motherfucking name before. She ain't using her shit. Well, Nimrata or something like that. That's her name. Or what about Ted Cruz, senator from Texas? That motherfucking name Raphael. You don't go by that. Sound too much like one of them immigrants they be goddamn villainizing, don't it? That's what these motherfuckers do, man. That girl named Kamala Harris. And she ain't changed her first name or nothing. Her name Kamala Harris. Now you got some of these fuck boys and bitches out here intentionally mispronouncing that shit. Talking some goddamn Kamala. When they know it was a motherfucking wrestler back in the Gap with that shit. But they're trying to play with her identity. And looking back, you know, as a kid, you watch some of that shit. Looking back, that was a racist ass depiction. I hate that brother did that shit. Kamala. And we see that Vince McMahon is a piece of shit. So he just was putting out a bunch of racist ass caricatures. You feel me? But Trump is a WWE man. He know what he doing. He know what he doing now by calling that woman that. And a lot of these motherfuckers who hate her know that shit as well. And they just try to mispronounce black folk names. Like they ain't got last names like Gasevich and shit. We're going to talk more about this name shit later. I'm going to get into that. But look at who running from their motherfucking identity. It wasn't Barack Obama. He could have gone by Barry. Motherfucker went by Barack. And won twice. So this woman ain't running from her goddamn heritage. But because of this one drop rule in America that white supremacists came up with, folks trying to act like this woman got to deny her mama or something. Who the fuck would do that? Like, that's one of the weirdest things in this fucking country. Take football. Look at Patrick Mahomes. Half black, half white. And as the black community, you motherfucking right, we embrace him. And we really want to embrace him. He's like the motherfucker we've been waiting on in terms of being able to kill that myth that a black person can't play quarterback at the highest level. I done told my brothers that's why I was waiting on. But that man got a white mama. One supposed, like, folks may see him being married to a white woman, but he got a white mama. How you gonna get mad at that boy for wanting to be with a woman who like his mama? Same thing with Dak Prescott. All of these mixed motherfuckers. Like, this racial shit is so fucking stupid that it makes people put some very, very strange expectations on folks who just human beings, bro. Who come from two different backgrounds, or who come from people who had different backgrounds. And America tell you need to deny one part of that. Like this woman supposed to deny her her mama side of the family. That's fucking stupid. That's stupid. But what brought this about? These fucking white supremacists. That's what brought it about. That's why we got the one drop rule. Don't believe me? Let's dig into this a little bit. I'll read something to you from an article on pbs.org. Okay? So this is out there for anybody to read. It says, who is black? One Nation's Definition by F. James Davis. The one drop rule defined. Okay? Relax. Okay? And let your homeboy first read a little bit to you. It says, to be considered black in the United States, not even half of one's ancestry must be African black. But will 1/4 do? Or 1/8? Or less? The nation's answer to the question, who is black, has long been that a black is any person with any known African black ancestry. This definition reflects the long experience with slavery and later with Jim Crow segregation. In the South, it became known as the one drop rule, meaning that a single drop of black blood makes a person a black. It is also known as the one black ancestor rule. Some courts have called it the traceable amount rule, and anthropologists call it the hypodescent rule, meaning that racially mixed persons are assigned the status of the subordinate group. This definition emerged from the American South to become the nation's definition, generally accepted by whites and blacks. Generally accepted by whites and blacks. That's very true. Blacks had no other choice. As we shall see, this American cultural definition of blacks is taken for granted as readily by judges, affirmative action officers, which we know that's out the door. This is an old article, and black protesters as it is by Ku Klux Klansmen. That's true. That's true. White racists came up with that one drop rule. White folks who aren't racist accepted that shit. Black people were forced to accept that shit. That shit go back to slavery, man. You got any black in you, they say you black. Goes back to white supremacy and the idea of white purity, and also these motherfuckers trying to, it hurts to even say this shit. Have more quote unquote property. See, if the so-called master raped one of his enslaved women, and a child came out looking like Frederick Douglass, slave code said that child would be deemed enslaved due to the status of the mother. How evil these motherfuckers were, man. And folks want to say we don't need to learn about critical race theory and how race has infected all parts of this society. We don't need to know that, though. But we sitting up here in a presidential campaign in 2024 talking about this woman's racial identity, when our country came up with this bullshit that many countries around the world don't even, like, we have to explain our racial dynamics to these motherfuckers when it comes to this shit. By hoping that explanation they explain it goes back to slavery. Can't leave that out. So no, ain't no way in the hell we finna sit up here and let white supremacists led by Trump question this woman's identity while simultaneously going after her, using all of the racist stereotypes that they use against black people. These motherfuckers want to say she ain't black while simultaneously using all of the racist rhetoric that you would use for Michael Jordan. Goddamn it. I mentioned Michael Jordan. Because Michael Jordan blacker than a motherfucker. And even with that, like, I think back to my childhood, how you'll see Mike in the goddamn commercials and shit, and they were lighting Mike up. They had me goddamn thinking Michael Jordan was goddamn like my mama color. You know what I'm talking about? My mama is a beautiful brown woman, brown skinned woman. So they used to put some kind of filter or something on Mike, and hey, Mike blacker than a motherfucker. That's why they used to call Mike the Black Cat and Black Jesus and all that type of shit. But this country, man, with that racism and colorism, say we got to lighten him up a little bit. But whether you Michael Jordan skin tone or you goddamn Kamala Harris skin tone, for motherfuckers like Trump, at the end of the day, and I bet you in private, he calling her a nigga. That's what he calling her. When he calls her low IQ, he's calling her a nigga. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. When you see some of his supporters get goddamn interviewed on CNN and they say she's not smart, they're calling her a nigga. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. When these motherfuckers had these goddamn truck decals and shit, these bumper stickers and shit saying Joe and the hoe must go, they were calling her a nigga. That's what they were doing. That's what they were doing. So we ain't finna let that shit go down, dog. We ain't finna let that shit go down. You gonna do what you do. They gonna do what they do. Okay? They gonna be who they gonna be. With all the real ones out there. I'm not finna let y'all buy into that bullshit from them. Okay? And don't buy into the bullshit from those in our community who really a lot of the shit that they're saying, I've seen it from these ADOS motherfuckers and these FBA motherfuckers. Okay? Who I'm down for reparations. Them motherfuckers don't go far enough. I think we need reparations for slavery and segregation. Because see, they try to act like goddamn, well, nobody who enslaved somebody is alive, and nobody who was enslaved is alive. Motherfuckers who were born in Jim Crow are alive. My mom in there right now, goddamn. She was not born free. Pay up. So I'm with y'all on that. And y'all my black people, I love you, goddamn it. All right? But we got some vast differences about this shit where y'all trying to exclude other black people just because they ain't from here. All right. And I know some of these other people around the world, some Africans don't fuck with us. Some people in the Caribbean don't fuck with us. Some people in South America don't fuck with us. But guess what? Some folks who are from here, some folks who are FBA, goddammit, don't fuck with us. There are some motherfuckers who were born right here in America who own some fuck shit. You gonna find some of us on that bullshit wherever. Okay? But I'm not finna write off the real ones from around the world. I got fans in Nigeria. I fuck with them. They real ones. I got real ones in South Africa. I fuck with them. When I promote my music and shit like that through Facebook, I send it to those nations first. They give me a chance before my own motherfucking people will. They'll go ahead and click on that shit and be like, dog, this shit, jam, we can't wait for you to come tour over here or something like that. They fuck with your boy. I'm supposed to deny them because they goddamn their ancestors didn't get snatched up or didn't get sold off over there and brought over here. No, fuck that. Somewhere down the line, I got somebody who shares my lineage that's over there. Somebody in my family who was brought over here in chains shares something with somebody over there who wasn't. And that person missed my ancestor. They loved my ancestor. They cried when my ancestor got brought over here and went through that bullshit. I'm supposed to deny that? Fuck that. Fuck that. My ancestor who ended up here in America as an enslaved person, they might have had some kinfolk that, goddamn it, ended up in the Caribbean. I'm supposed to deny that shit because the slave ship went to a different place? Fuck that shit. Fuck that. Whether it's been in America, whether it's been in South Africa, whether it's been in Haiti, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, whether it's been in sub-Saharan Africa, black people have been subjugated. been subjugated for centuries now. In various different ways. But at the root of it all been white supremacy, the idea of white supremacy, greed, motherfuckers trying to use us for labor, motherfuckers trying to steal our mineral wealth over there in Africa. It's the same shit. We share that. We might not share the same language, might not share some of the same customs, but fuck all that. We share that struggle. You understand me? So I'm gonna unite with them motherfuckers. Anybody who real and want to be down me, I don't give a fuck where you from. If you're of African descent, whether you got your ass black as Wesley Snipes or a yellow boy like me, I fuck with you if you're a real one. Hell, if you white, I fuck with you if you're a real one. If you're of Indian descent, I fuck with you if you're a real one. I don't give a fuck where you from. If you real, I fuck with you. You understand me? But I'm not gonna stand here in a country that tells me Mariah Carey is black, a country that tells me Jason Kidd is black, that Derek Jeter is black, that Barack Obama, who is half Kenyan and half white, okay? His daddy was a Kenyan. That's in East Africa. His mama was a white woman from Kansas. His daddy left him. He raised by that white woman and her white parents. And this country told his motherfucking ass, we don't give a fuck about none of that shit. We don't care that you are literally half black and half white, and that you're raised by all these white folks. Your ass look black. You don't look like us, and goddamn it, you black. And he faced all them damn death threats as president. More death threats than all the other presidents. I wonder why. Same country that told me that man is black, that all these other motherfuckers black, ain't finna tell me that this woman ain't. And lastly, wherever the fuck she identifies as, y'all better look at them policies and comparing to what that boy talking about. Look at those policies. Look at what both of them are talking about with Social Security. I got a mother in here right now who worked for 40 years, 40 plus years as a teacher. But still, she needs Social Security. She gets her pension, she gets her retirement. That shit ain't enough. She needs Social Security. Better check what they talking about for real. Check, don't just say what they talking about. The Trump gonna lie. I promise not to cut. Check what the real journalists are saying about their policies. Check what the real journalists are saying about their policies when it comes to Medicare. My mom would be dead right now if it wasn't for that goddamn program. Check what the real journalists are saying about their policies when it comes to Medicaid, about investing in education. Check all that shit. Check and see how one reacted to George Floyd's murder and how the other reacted to George Floyd's murder. Okay? And then think about Sonia Massey. And think about, okay, which one of these people would be better to handle that type of shit in the future to prevent that type of shit. Think about all that. Think about foreign policy and who seems like more of an adult to be commander-in-chief of the military. More of an adult. We need a new adult to be having a nuclear code, don't you think? Don't you want an adult? Fuck all this racial identity shit. Look at these policies, goddammit. All right? Look at the policies. So I wouldn't give a fuck if Kamala Harris was half Martian. Her policies are more in line with what I believe in. And so she will have my vote over the white supremacist in chief. One drop rule or not. Put it on something.